I'm starting a 100K profit challenge. You heard that right. We're talking about profit, not revenue. We're talking about profits.
Talking about
Profit.
we talking about
Profits. And I'm deep in the negative. But Timmy's, thanks for joining. Let me explain. I'm Rob from the Coffee Cardboard Show. Last year we made 100K revenue, but that's going to be easy compared to our goal this year. Every buy, every sell, I'm going to give you updates where we become the most transparent TCG business on YouTube. We just did a video where we're at a card show. I got some great buys, but overall, we are starting pretty negative with the amount of money I'm investing in inventory. But we're going to keep track as we go, and we're going to slowly feed this monster and start raking in some profit. But today, let's talk about the TMNT pre-release. So let's hop in. You know, the more I think about it, this would be a lot easier to start tomorrow when we're not negative this much money from this pre-release. But I do think this is a very important part of doing this, because a lot of what we do, we're going to be grinding and spending a lot of time on bulk buying collections, buying, you know, overall good deals. Like what I saw last week, I thought there was some inefficiency in the liquidity of you know, $1,200 card. If we flip that for 2,000, we really didn't spend that much time doing that. But in a similar way, we're going to be using more of the longevity of time, and there's a couple things to talk about. First, let's talk about these commanders. First, let's talk about commander decks. So Rob at RNG Games is pretty much world famous at this point in the TCG space for buying these to break them down. So I think that's what most people that are getting started look at doing, because you know exactly, you know, what's in here. But at the same time, really good commander decks, they go through these reprint cycles, but what ends up happening is the really sought after ones, whenever we're not in the middle of a reprint, actually perform really well. So it's really easy to actually sit and flip on these. So what I'm sort of doing is building a position from a couple different commander sets. In a different video, we can kind of view some of the things I bought kind of before we started this challenge. Because what we'll do, we'll make some adjustments if I sell anything big, as far as what inventory and like what the actual profit is. But the way these boxes work, they're not the easiest to ship, but they're small enough where it's pretty efficient. Overall, like if you're getting this at the distribution level, are probably around $45 a box, a little under, maybe like $43 a box. I don't see a world where these stay under $50 a box very long, and I could definitely see these going to like $80, $100 a box, leaving plenty kind of meat on the bones with shipping on these. We had a really good example of Lord of the Rings stuff go crazy. So I know TMNT's not Lord of the Rings, but this stuff looks cool. And the good news, we've sold one for 50 already. Long term, we're going to be sitting on 7 of these, which isn't that bad. But this has some interesting stuff. So let's look at this next thing. The main reason I bought those and 3 play boxes, which let me grab. So we have these play boxes. So this is what the play boxes look like, which I'm sure you guys have seen at this point. The play boxes are definitely going to be the thing that kind of collapses in price. So what we're going to do right away is rip these and get these on eBay and TCG Player, just to try to move these cards as quickly as possible. All the play boxes, I was at 129. Only had to buy 3. I sold 1, so we're really just stuck with 2 of these. So I'm going to open these 2 and get them on eBay and TCG Player as soon as we can. And the main reason we bought those was so we could get this guy. This is a inner sleeve collector case. These are going to be the crown jewels. It's going to take some time. I don't think people are going to love this right away, but I know these are short printed. I think having an inner sleeve of this is going to be really rare in a few years, maybe even a year. So I think that gives us a lot of flexibility. And at the same time, I could always open the case and kind of sell box for box if we need some revenue. On the collector boxes, I was at 365 each, times 6, and getting it in the inner case, I think could actually have a bit of a premium long term. It's not quite as crazy as Pokemon, but I think as more collectors come into Magic, we could definitely see that. So most of what I did today was so I could acquire this in a case. And shout out to Kitchen Table TCG. They were really kind of short printed, is my understanding. I messaged my friends about them. So one thing I have is this Draft Night. This is actually kind of fun. There's a collector box in here and a bunch of play packs. But I was messaging my friends, and we're probably going to draft, but they didn't necessarily want to use this. They were like, hey, we could just use a play box or whatever. So I'm just going to open this and get this on there ASAP too. So that's 2 play boxes and this draft night box, which on the draft night paid $95 for, which I think that's about the market rate right now, maybe a little bit lower. One thing that's interesting, I just like the box here. And so I'm going to keep this one. So these are kind of cool. I may reevaluate this later, but on this is the Turtle Team Up. I just thought this would look kind of interesting on the shelf. And part of the deal, I was also able to get the pizza bundle. I don't have the pizza bundle here. The pizza bundle will definitely go on the main display. I think kind of with the Spider-Man box I got over here. I don't know where my Spider-Man box went. Yeah, I just thought this was interesting. I'm not gonna break this down right now, just because there's some there's some actual decks in there. It looks like, so it's almost like a weird, it's almost like ETB type product, but it's designed to be like its own game mode where you kind of fight like a deck that's like the enemy. So it's kind of interesting. I like the artwork. I'm a little young to be like the biggest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, but I did see some of the comics when I was a kid. We had some of the action figures, I think, saw some of the shows, but overall, I thought it'd be a decent spot to collect, and at the same time, I think these collector's boxes are a steal. Anywhere you can get those below market, even on release when things typically crash, they've been holding okay. But at this point in the video, you have to be asking yourselves, why are we watching this guy? Because I'm awesome. 2, are we actually going to make money? I'll be honest, on the TMNT, I think it's going to take some time for us to see this money back, but I think it is a very worthwhile hold considering the novelty and the sort of rarity of what we're seeing in these collector boxes. So I think that it's a good play. But it leads me into our next up and coming video and project. We've been paying very close attention to our reprints, and Foundations had a massive wave. So I have a total of 4 cases of Foundations coming to be ripped immediately. Those were at an EV before the reprint of roughly 200, and we were buying these boxes in that like 125 135 range. You can do the math at home, but I think with our selling style using eBay, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with the cards over $20 to keep a little bit higher percentage, and TCG player is gonna get the bulk. Spoiler. I think we will do very well. I think we'll be in that $60 range per box, even with the flood of cards coming out. We're going to be pretty quick to market, I think, relative to everyone else. So on the next video, we're going to unbox. I'm going to go in more detail on how we're going to get that to market, and that should ramp up our sales drastically. If any of this seems fun, if you want to see if I fail or make it, follow our real 100K profit challenge. Just give me a subscribe, and I'll see you guys Saturday with the Foundations. Stay thirsty, my friends.